I've been interested in Cambodia for quite a long time. The leader of the Cambodian opposition, which is banned, is called Sam Rainsy, and he actually lives in Paris, being exiled from his native Cambodia. And I helped him to write his English language autobiography, which was published in 2013. Back in the 1990s, when Sam Rainsy was finance minister in Cambodia, government corruption was mainly focused on illegal logging. So they were allowing forests to be cut down illegally, and then the wood was transported and sold for private profit, benefiting the members of the ruling elite. These days, the corruption takes a different form. It's much more focused on cybercrime, cyber scam compounds, which it's fair to say make money much faster, much larger quantities of money, much quicker than cutting down trees, which is, hard work. You've got to cut the trees down, send them across the border, perhaps to Vietnam. It's all hard work, and um, relatively not lucrative compared with scamming people online. COVID-19 was a big turning point, because before COVID-19 in Cambodia, you have casinos, Chinese run casinos, which operate in different cities in the country. But COVID-19 makes it impossible for these casinos to operate. The business simply dried up. So what happened is that those casinos were repurposed by the Chinese criminal elements that run them into what today are cyber scam compounds. This process has been quite well documented. There is, for an example, a report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, which says that they were even starting to change these buildings from casinos into cyber scam compounds before COVID. So maybe they had this idea anyway, but it's certainly true to say that the COVID pandemic speeded up the process. It became very urgent to find a new source of revenue very quickly because simply because people couldn't go to the casinos anymore. A recent report from Amnesty International, it was out just last week, and it gives a great deal of detail on what they look like. They are almost without exception sealed. You can't walk in and out, especially you can't walk out. They often use barbed wire and electric fences to keep people in. Well, when the casinos were first converted into cyber scam compounds, the people working in them were mostly Chinese. These are mostly Chinese victims of human trafficking. Um, but what they have realized is that you can scam much more people, many more wealthy people, if you have English speakers. So the human trafficking net has been spread much wider, and now includes pretty much anywhere where there are English speaking people. And that certainly includes the English speaking countries of Africa. If there are young people who need a job, that they're probably, well, they will need to be fairly well educated. They need a job, they speak English. Those are the type of people the scammers are looking to recruit. The Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, as it's called, the idea of having a summit in Cambodia, I mean, it comes from good intentions because historically people don't really pay that much attention to Cambodia unless it's like a time of absolute catastrophe, such as the Khmer Rouge. Most of the rest of the time, it's not very high up the agenda. So I'm sure it's a well-intentioned move to have a summit there, as opposed to somewhere much more obvious. I mean, they had it in France. Okay, so they're trying to help a neglected underdeveloped country, which is good in some ways, but the problem is it legitimizes what goes on in Cambodia. And the danger with inviting um, a host of leaders from the Francophone world is that it legitimizes the location as a safe, secure, legitimate place to do business and to work. And that's a dangerous signal for people in Africa, other parts of Asia who may be tempted to take up job offers there, which may not be real job offers, but are in fact um, human trafficking in the disguise of a job offer. There have been sporadic um, attempts to address the issue. The United States has, um, for example, withdrawn the access to its financial system for a company called Wayone, which is closely connected to the Cambodian government. South Africa, Ethiopia, I mean, countries on the east side are generally quite vulnerable because Dubai is in itself a hub for cyber slavery. The sort of thing goes on in Dubai as well. Um, so Kenya, um, Mozambique, anything on the east side is certainly relatively it's logistically fairly easy to get people to travel from Eastern Africa into Asia. Conference concerning the conference, um, I mean, this was announced. The decision to hold it in Cambodia was announced by President Macron last year. So it would be a hell of a change if they were to say we're not going to do that. Let's be realistic. This conference is going to go ahead. Um, what what I think is legitimate to say is, firstly, the African governments who are going to be represented there should be informed, should know what exactly has been going on there, so that they don't inadvertently give this signal to their people that Cambodia is a safe and legitimate place to do business. So at the very least, the OIF, which is organizing the summit, should explain to the African leaders and all the other countries that will be attending, they should be explaining what exactly has been happening, what we know about organized cybercrime in the country to all the participants. That really should be done by the OIF. Um, Secondly, if we assume that the conference goes ahead, there should be space for civil society in Cambodia to be represented at the summit, because otherwise you're simply going to get the government narrative.